Here with Chris Gagnon at the Curve Test Center here now, a new feature at LakePoint Sports. Chris, man, appreciate the time.
Glad to be here, Cory.
When a player walks through that door, tell me what they're going to get to experience.
The idea is that recruiting in baseball is just too hard and too expensive. You know, I'm a basketball guy. It's pretty easy to go to a basketball tournament and say, hey, how about
Welcome into the LakePoint Sports Baseball Village, where it's the Academy Sports Plus Outdoor Weekend, and the prep baseball schedule is officially underway with the season opener. I'm Cory McCartney, and we'll be taking you up to today's broadcast, a matchup between the West Cobb Ducks and USA Scout from the 14U division of the season opener, part of a jam-packed weekend here on campus. Along with the season opener here at the Baseball Village, we also have the Rally Volleyball Peachtree Classic at the Champion Center and NASA Top Hat action over at the Publix Field. So come out for the Academy Sports Plus Outdoor Champions Weekend. There's so much happening across campus. So we've got a lot here going on for the Baseball Village. Again, we're excited to bring you the West Cobb Ducks and USA Scout, expecting a noon first pitch between this two teams here in the 14U division. But the on-field action is just part of the offerings here at LakePoint Sports, where we effort to provide a best-in-class experience, and that includes access to testing and player performance data that is redefining evaluation and recruiting. Curve Test Center gives athletes an unprecedented look at how they measure up through its ball, body, and brain approach to testing. Here's my chat with Curve Test Center President Chris Gagnon, who takes us inside what a player can expect when they step foot into the bubble. Here with Chris Gagnon at the Curve Test Center here now, a new feature at LakePoint Sports. Chris, man, appreciate the time.
Glad to be here, Cory.
When a player walks through that door, tell me what they're going to get to experience.
The idea is that recruiting in baseball is just too hard and too expensive. You know, I'm a basketball guy. It's pretty easy to go to a basketball tournament and say, hey, how about the 6'8" guy dunking on everybody, or the guy who just hit 5 threes? You know, we're here with some of the best, futures players in the country, and, baseball is just a slower game and harder to assess. So a bunch of the Diamond Allegiance leading travel teams and a bunch of college coaches came together and said, can we get a way to get better information about the kids without all the expense of traveling all over the country to a zillion showcases? So we partnered with the coaches to figure out what they really wanted to see. We partnered with leading scientists to figure out how to measure it, and we actually partnered with Prometric, who a lot of parents will know because they run all the SAT test centers in the country, and say, can we get a test that really tells a player and a parent and a coach where a kid's at?
Tell me exactly what they're going to experience here when they walk through the doors.
So they when they come in the doors, they'll usually have pre-registered, but if not, we can take registrations here. We weigh them, take their height, and then we put a barcode on them, and then they go back to the test center, which I want to be clear is a no adults area, because I don't know any kids who are trying to get more adults around looking. And then they have 3 testing areas. We test their body, their ball skills, and their brain. And let me talk about each of those in order. Body is really important. I always say, if Bo Jackson or Mike Trout or somebody had never played baseball, but you were a college coach, you'd want to know who they were, right? Because they can create power and speed. So we measure kids' speed, agility, power, and strength. There's some standard tests there. By the way, one of my contributions to baseball was trying to get rid of the 60-yard dash. I've never seen a baseball player run 60 yards straight in their life. So we do a 30-yard sprint, a 30-yard shuttle run. We do some vertical jump testing, ground force testing, But the centerpiece of it is the Proteus motion machine. I don't know if, how many people have ever seen a Proteus machine. It was featured recently in the Netflix show Quarterback, Patrick Mahomes training on it. And baseball is a rotational sport, and Proteus is the best thing for measuring rotational strength and power. There's a lot of people, I might be one of them, who can squat a bunch of weight, bench press a bunch of weight, and probably can't hit the ball out of my shadow. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for kids who are strong and quick. So coming out of the body section, you've really got a sense of, even if kids had never played baseball, what's their potential to produce the kind of athletic results you need in baseball. In the ball section, we measure hitters and pitchers. It's all on TrackMan. It's all controlled environment, so it's very, very fair. We measure not just velocity, because baseball's got an overfixation on velocity and throwing kids' arms out, but we measure velocity, horizontal and vertical movement. But by the way, that's not the same as spin. As one of my favorite coaches said, I'll tell you something that goes really fast and spins a lot, a bullet. It goes dead straight, and dead straight gets you rocked, right? So we actually measure movement. Similarly for hitters, we're measuring velo, contact percentage, whatever, in a very controlled environment. So when you send this report to a college coach and it says, I throw 88, today, a college coach looks at a letter that says it throws 88 and says, I have no idea what that means. Somebody in a gun somewhere with a field one day says, no, that's a valid, reliable test score. The third area is the brain area. And this is kind of a fascinating story. When we got involved in setting this up, the college coaches said, we know brain is really important, right? And it's within kids of similar physical abilities, it's probably the biggest differentiator. I said, great, you know how to measure it? And I said, no. Okay, so we went out and talked to a bunch of the leading doctors in the world, and ended up working with the head of brain science for the NFL, the NHL, the NBA, Team Red Bull, the US ski team. And they've led us to something that I call the Yogi Berra test. The kids watching this won't know who Yogi Berra was, but you could argue Yogi Berra was the greatest baseball player of all time. But if you talked to him or looked at him, it wasn't obvious he was a genius, right? So what's the mental test that tells you Yogi Berra is a genius? And so what happens in the brain test is kids get asked to do something that's pretty simple athletically. They catch ping pong balls. And while they're catching and baseball players are pretty good at catching ping pong balls. While they're catching the ping pong balls, they get exposed to mental stress. They get asked to sort them in different ways, pay attention to things and answer questions about them. So it's not an IQ test, but it's actually a really good representation of what happens to you when a ground ball gets hit to you at third with a man on first and one out, right? Can you process all that? And that has just been a fascinating set of differentiators as we've tested players. So at the end of it, the player gets a report. And the report goes through their body, brain, and ball scores, all really simple to understand on a 100-point scale. And think of the uses for that, right? Tryouts can get more fair. One of my coaches said, I have 1,000 kids try out for 20 spots. The other 980 parents say, why didn't my kid get picked? Well, we thought the other 20 kids were better. Well, the heck does that mean, right? You can talk to your coaches about, listen, I'm strong and I'm fast, but my mechanics aren't letting me deliver it, right? What's the point of a kid? Or my mechanics are matched out. I just got to get stronger or faster. Or, my brain doesn't function the way I want it to under certain kinds of stressful situations, and that can be trained just like everything else in life. So, they talk about kids who are clutch, kids who have white line syndrome, great practice players not in the game. That's all to some degree things that we can work on. So it really should change the dialogue between parents and players and coaches, because you got a fact base to work with. I do the analogy all the time of it really is like the SATs. You want to know where to go to college? That's where you start.
So the ball part of it, a guy can understand the metrics and how they match up, whether it's an elite player or whether it's somebody that's playing at a lower travel. For the body and the brain part, how do you kind of set up these baseline understandings so a player can look at it and understand, okay, this is a truly elite player, this is somebody who needs improvement?
Yeah, I love that. Right now, we're pulling together benchmarks from a variety of sources. So Proteus has tested thousands of athletes. And so if you're a 14-year-old kid and we're measuring your trunk rotation power, we can put you in the 52nd percentile, and that's pretty easy to understand. As this concept spreads, and this is the first of many, a bunch of the Diamond Allegiance teams are putting these at their facilities. They're going to go at other, big, gathering places, none of which we love as much as LakePoint, our first. As this spreads, very quickly, we will all collectively, I mean, we as an industry, own the database of what baseball players at different levels really look like on all these dimensions.
As you just heard, Curve Test Center is redefining player and performance data when it comes to evaluation and recruiting. Test your athletic, cognitive, and baseball skills with TrackMan, Proteus, and more. Visit at the Bubble here at the LakePoint Sports campus or sign up now at curvetestcenters.com. Don't miss this chance to level up your game. Now joined by Grayson, Rosen in studio. We're going to be a few more minutes before we get first pitch between the West Cobb Ducks and USA Scout as the guys are still on the field. We had a bit of a run rule situation in the game before this as the West Cobb Ducks just absolutely went to work to get themselves a game there with Nelson Baseball School. So we'll take you up to the first pitch as soon as we can. So we'll be rejoining you shortly here from the Baseball Village at LakePoint Sports. Welcome into our action. West Cobb Ducks against USA Scout here. The season opener from LakePoint Sports. Cory McCartney, Grayson, Rosen with you. This, of course, part of the Academy Sports Plus Outdoor Champions Weekend here across campus. Going to get things started with USA Scout out in the field, and they're going to have Caden Staubley on the mound. Intel on Staubley from Alpharetta High School. Second prep baseball event for him. Of note, this USA Scout team scheduled to appear in 3 more prep baseball events this spring. They'll be at next weekend's Prep Baseball Invitational, then the Georgia Major Elite in April, and Prep Baseball Showdown in May. West Cobb Ducks leading off with Evan DeCuria, followed by Foley Kane and Landon Evans. DeCuria at the plate right now from Cornerstone Prep Academy in Ackworth. That one's put in place. Shortstop has it. Can't get glove on that as it tricks into center field for a leadoff error and a man on base to start things off for West Cobb Ducks.
A great start for West Cobb Ducks. Just trying to get anybody on base to start these games is such a invaluable thing that you'll find.
Yeah, West Cobb Ducks just played Nelson Baseball School right before this, winning 15-3. Meanwhile, USA Scouts started their day off with a game against that same Nelson Baseball School, winning 11-2. So rough day for NBS as they face these two teams in back-to-backs. Staubley, we've got him with a fastball up around 70. So let's see what the lefty from Alpharetta, 2029, also plays first base, can do here. He's got a runner at first. That one's fouled off by Foley Kane.
And if you look at some of the scores that have happened between yesterday and today, certainly looking at these two teams as probably your 2 title contenders in this 14U division.
Yeah, it's not a deep field. We'll see some much bigger events as we roll along. Right now, when you're looking at this one, just 6 teams here in the 14U division. Next weekend, that'll jump up. I believe we have 15 coming for the Prep Baseball Invitational. But this a very early matchup. Some of the teams across the state of Georgia just haven't gotten themselves in action yet, but an opportunity for these guys to get out here and get some time on these fields awfully early, and a beautiful weather weekend here across campus as well.
Yeah, short sleeve. Yeah. Shorts today for me. It's wonderful. I walked in with a hoodie. I'll admit it, but yeah, midday the weather's perfect.
Well, this is one of the stranger parts of the calendar year in Georgia because you go from it sometimes being in the 20s or 30s in the early mornings, and then by midday you're talking about the 60s to sometimes the low 70s. So it's always a bit of an oddity weather-wise this part of the year. Foley Kane, as I mentioned, at the plate right now, North Cobb Christian 2029. And, man, the future, the present and the future are extremely bright for North Cobb Christian. They've got a number of 2028s who are ranked in the state, and I would imagine Foley Kane seeing himself as an option as they start looking at that next wave of players coming in a year from now.
Yeah, I really liked on that last pitch that he saw, that defensive swing that we saw on 2 strikes. You don't see that a lot out of young guys, but a really strong defensive swing.
Runner takes off. He is in there with the stolen base.
Looked like he got under the tag there. Good work on the slide.
So Evan DeCuria, the 2029 from Cornerstone Prep, setting at second base now. We just went through 2 consecutive weekends of Georgia Dugout Club action, as that one is fouled back.
Yeah, certainly glad that we do have a time limit today.
Yeah, you know, we had one game go 14 innings last weekend. We had a 9-inning affair an opening night between Blessed Trinity and Walton. So we have logged some major minutes. A nice curveball in there that just misses inside off the hands of Staubley.
One of the things that when you get down into the 14U division, you're not necessarily going to see a lot of secondary pitches, but not too bad of a handle there on the curveball. Swing
and a miss. Foley Kane goes down on strikes. Now 1 out for Staubley and USA Scout.
Yeah, good work by Staubley just staying in that at bat. He got up 1-2 early, and then he had him fighting quite a bit, and then Staubley comes back after making it 3-2 and gets a strikeout.
Now he'll see Landon Evans from Harrison, 2029. This is the 3rd prep baseball event for Landon. Skies that one. First baseman camps underneath it for the 2nd out. So Landon Evans quickly goes out on the pop out, and here is Liam Agnes. Agnes from Northwest Classical Academy, which I will admit about 24 hours ago did not know existed.
Nope, me neither. Never heard of it.
Do you learn like Latin and Beethoven? Like, what do you think the curriculum's like at the Northwest Classical Academy?
I don't know, because classical, depending on the field, can mean very different time frames and different things. So I'm not too sure, because like you mentioned classical music, or like, you get classical in different fields, you get very different eras and different things. Maybe it's a classical teaching methods. I'm not too sure.
I just want to believe that he's like an expert on Rembrandt
That'd be
and
good.
Bach
Yeah.
and like all that he can school you. Well, he's currently got a 2-0 count here against Staubley, runner at second base in the form of Evan Nicaria. Another miss, going to run it to 3-0. Second here for Staubley to regroup.
Yeah, everything's missed kind of high or outside in this at bat, so just trying to figure out his release point here.
Light breeze here in Emerson, Georgia, which is about 90% of the year. There's some form of a breeze until it becomes the part of the year that we would like there to be a breeze, and then it's scalding hot. All right, here comes a 3-0 from Staubley. Another miss, and he will issue a 2-out walk.
Yeah, that same spot still missing. Let's see what he does to try and come back from it here.
All right, this is Elliot Owen now stepping to the plate for West Cobb Ducks. Elliot from Marietta High School, third prep baseball event for the 5'10", 130-pound righty. He's found his groove now. That's in for a strike.
That's a good pitch. And for West Cobb Ducks, you're just trying to make a run out of this. I mean, you had a runner in scoring position, no outs, 2 quick outs. Credit to Staubley on the mound, but you still want to try and make something happen if you can.
Just can't seem to. He's had a couple of them where he's been able to drop in, but by and large, just trying to find that grip on that curveball.
Yeah, I think as a younger guy, you probably just abandon it. If it's not working for you the first couple of go-rounds, I probably hold off maybe until your warm-up pitches the next inning.
Swing and a miss for strike 2.
Yeah, good idea there to go back to the fastball. I mean, for most of these guys, this is your first tournament of the season. Guys are still getting warmed up, pitchers and hitters, for that matter. So, when you do bring something like that, even that curveball right there, it's something that could potentially generate a swing and miss on a guy who's maybe been a little bit cold for a couple months.
Yeah, I think the fact of the matter, though, is that if you're not throwing it for strikes, they're not going to swing at it.
Exactly. These are all, the guy in the batter's box just as talented as the guy on the mound.
Rips that one down the right field side foul. Yeah, even as we talk about a team early in the season, if a pitcher's up there and he's working through some struggles on a secondary pitch, the batters are all too aware for that, and they're not going to swing until they see a fastball as he sends him one there, and that one goes back foul.
And I think West Cobb Ducks as well, you're trying to avoid that kind of common thing that happens in a doubleheader where if you score a lot of runs in that first game, can the offense keep it up into the second game? Especially, USA Scout, another team that played extremely well this morning to get a win.
Yeah, rips that one down the right side. First baseman tries to glove it but can't.
Yeah, good sliding attempt there at first, but you're just trying to kind of live up to what you did in the last game and try and, obviously you're not going to completely replicate that game, but try and bring all the good stuff with you.
Are you trying to say your momentum's only as good as your last at bat?
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe. I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say because right now they're doing a good job of staying alive here with 2 outs, but then you see the moments where like that early in the bat swing on a pitch that was a little bit high and then you pop it up to the first baseman. That's something that doesn't win you a game by like 15 runs like their last game.
3-2 count, runners at first and second, and he will walk the bases loaded.
Here we go, West Cobb Ducks fighting back for a chance to score a run here.
Colson Ruplin, another Cornerstone Prep Academy player, steps to the plate now. 5'8", 115-pounder, plays first base and also gets on the mound. Third prep baseball event for him. He's got a chance here to get West Cobb Ducks on the board early in this matchup with USA Scout.
Good pitch there by Staubley to catch the strike on the outer half. I do have to make the note here that Colson's jersey not tucked in the back, so halfway to something that I would typically make a comment on. Oh, got a
ball gets away from the catcher, and here comes that first run for West Cobb Ducks off the wild pitch.
It might not have been the exact way they planned on getting that run scored here in this inning, but you'll definitely take it with you.
Now, the big question is, at what point does Blue tell him to tuck in the back of the shirt?
I don't know. I was talking with this umpire. We got some GoPro footage from the last game that you guys can check out on our social media pages at some point this week, but seems like a good guy. I've talked to him a couple times.
Rips that one into center field. Ruplin scores one. Here comes the second as he'll be finding himself at first base with a 2-out single, and West Cobb Ducks now lead 3-0 here in the top of the first.
That's some big-time hitting right there. I mean, he didn't, put it on the wall or anything, but he put it right where nobody was, and that was a perfectly placed hit in a perfect time. 2 outs. You get those 2 runs to score, and now you're already up 3-0. Maybe they are replicating what they did last time around.
So Ruplin delivers that 2-run single, and now Luke Thompson's turn. Kennesaw Mountain 2029.
And I think it's important to know that Stobley hasn't looked bad in these at-bats where he's giving up the hits and allowing runners to get on. He's not really, missing errantly other than that first walk he allowed, but I think now it's just a matter of trying to get out of your own head.
Swing and a miss on that fastball.
That's a great pitch. Right
yeah, I mean, you go back to it. The problems that he's seen in this inning have largely been on just not having the feel for that curveball, and we see that lead to a wild pitch and some walks, and now he's got himself a 3-0 deficit. See if he can get it out of this without giving up any further damage, and that one's ripped right up the middle, and that will be another base hit for West Cobb Ducks.
Yeah, there's another one. They're just putting bat on ball, and it's working in their favor, and you obviously can't knock it. They're doing it how they're supposed to.
Thatcher Reeves now gets his chance as the line keeps moving for the Ducks here in the first. Reeves out of Harrison. Like most of these Ducks players, third prep baseball event for him as he sends that pitch foul. Yeah, we'd be excited to see that GoPro footage from that matchup between the Ducks and Nelson Baseball School. Had some really fun plays at the plate at that one. I'm sure going to look great from those new GoPro cameras. Misses on that curveball. Yeah, that was something we had a lot of success with last year on our social channels, is that bringing you that perspective from the home plate umpire or even the field umpire. I'll be ratcheting that up this year. We got some brand new GoPros that are going to have a little bit crisper look to them, better microphones.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, last year's footage was already fun enough for me to go through and edit. So,
and they did extremely well for us, and we got some great moments out of that. Comes a 2-1 from Stobley. Holds off. Count now 3-1. Stobley's thrown now 34 pitches here in the first inning.
I feel like when he got those 2 consecutive outs, the strikeout and then the early pop-up to the first baseman, it definitely felt like he was in control and that USA Scout could get out of this inning, but West Cobb Ducks doing a fantastic job of keeping themselves alive.
Another walk, and that one's going to load the bases.
I think we're getting close to a point where you consider going out to having a conversation with your pitcher.
Yeah, I think, it feels like things are just getting away from him a little bit. We've seen some great moments out of Stobley. I think it's just trying to repeat them. Now he's got to deal with Ryder Floyd. Floyd first pitch swinging on that. Nice offering out of the hands of Stobley. Floyd from Mount Perrin, 5'3", 110-pound righty. Also gets on the mound, runs it up to about 70. Ropes that one into right field. That will be instead caught by the second baseman, and will bring it into the inning, but the Ducks lead 3-0. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports. You're watching the season opener, part of the Academy Sports Plus Outdoors Champions Weekend.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
As part of the Academy March of Champions weekend, you can receive 20% off your purchase both online and in-store at all Georgia Academy Sports locations. Just use that coupon that you see on screen now. Welcome back to our action. Going to now see USA Scout try to eat into this 3-0 deficit that they face here in the first inning of the season opener. Cory, McCartney, Grayson, Rosen with you. On the mound for the Ducks, we're going to get a look now at what we got here. Bo Bryant out of Marietta. Bo, a 2029 fifth prep baseball event for the right-hander. Runs it up to about 68 miles an hour, which you're kind of seeing backed up there on the top of our score bug and the pitch speed.
Yeah, and for those out there that are tuning in, a lot of these guys 2029, so technically 8th grade, but when we say the high school, it's the one that is listed on their profile as the one that they're going to feed into when they get to their freshman year.
We do have a few 2028s
yeah,
in this. Some Denmark players. One from Hillgrove. All right, so USA Scout is going to lead things off with Blake McNeil and then Bentley Linville and Kareem Williams. Blake McNeil at the plate now from Sequoia. Chakowsat on his way to Sequoia's at 29. 5'9", 125-pound lefty watches the first offering from McNeil miss for ball one. Excuse me, from Bryant miss for ball one.
I'm interested to see if USA Scout can get off to a hot start here offensively. I know you're probably not happy about giving up 3 runs in that top of the first, but is a team that's more than capable of scoring runs.
Yeah, just as explosive as this Ducks squad. They, again, scored 11 runs in their win over Nelson Baseball School this morning. That's in for a strike. Always go back to knowing these fields. USA Scout practices on these very fields, so they are all too familiar with every nook, cranny, and intricacy of playing here on these turf surfaces at LakePoint Sports.
Yeah, definitely an advantage that we've seen in play before.
Dribbler down the right side foul, especially when those fields are wet early in the morning and guys, well, I mean, this never fails. When guys who are not used to playing on these fields, when there's any kind of condensation on the turf, you watch them just slide right over top of the bag.
Oh, yeah.
They just don't have a feel for it.
I mean, it happens all the time at the highest levels.
Yep.
I mean, we've seen that was a great pitch for the strikeout right there.
Yeah, Bo Bryant gets the K as McNeil goes down on strikes.
I mean, we were seeing it in that first weekend of Georgia Dugout Club.
Yeah.
it was wet out there. And,
yep.
and I mean, like, when I had Caden Dawson mic'd up for Blessed Trinity, he was even talking about how, like, it was so wet that, like, he was sliding so much earlier than you typically would because you will just fly.
Yeah, it almost becomes like a slip and slide. You know,
Yeah,
just get them going and just let them fly across there. But get a look now at Bentley Linville at the plate for USA Scout on his way to Lambert, playing his 6th prep baseball event.
I got to point out, a lot of good names, a lot of unique
names. Yeah, some awesome names in this one,
across both lineups.
Sends that one foul. Going to be a prep baseball showcase on Field 9 today, which kind of leads me into I've been obsessed with watching the NFL Combine the last couple days. You go to a prep baseball scouting event like, whoa, that one going to get away from Bryant. There's all those kind of things you're used to seeing. You get you run the 60, you watch the vertical, you watch guys throwing from the outfield, the infield, you watch the pop times. If you could take something that we've seen from the NFL Combine these past couple days and start to work it into the rotation on a baseball showcase, is there one thing in particular that jumps out?
I think there could be almost a version of I'm trying to think. There's so many different ones. I think kind of for the outfielders in particular, a lot of like the outfield velo and like outfield fielding stuff is very much just like, all right, it's on the right side, left side, straight up, and you run in, you make the play, you throw. I wonder if we could incorporate something a little bit more of like tracking back for something, cut off the ball
like
deep.
they do for the D-backs.
Yeah.
The D-backs, the defensive backs. I'm
Yeah.
getting well into baseball here, but like, you've seen them running out with the safeties and the DBs that they
Yeah.
had them backtracking and then fielding a ball on the throw from the quarterback.
Yeah.
Could there be something like that where they're just getting told late which way to break and then the ball ends up coming their way?
Yeah, and Bryant issues the walk right there, so USA Scout will get themselves their first base runner here with 1 out. But yeah, I think change of direction is something that we don't talk about a lot in
Yeah.
baseball, but it's very important, especially in the outfield, and it's something that is so highly stressed at the combine.
Kareem Williams now gets a chance at Cambridge 2029. 6 foot, 160 pounder. This guy looks like he can do some absolute damage. I'll tell you the thing I'd like to see. My favorite drill that gets run is largely what they do for the defensive linemen, where they put the 2 gigantic hula hoops up and the runner's taken off for second base, and they have the towel that they have to place on one, run the figure 8, put it at the top. That's not that different than a guy trying to run, to make a turn around a base, or being able to show athleticism in an infield position, to be able to show that hip mobility. And
That's a great point.
yeah, I'm going to talk to Hudson Graham and Ian Smith, and we're going to get that involved in our showcases here at Lake Point. Williams shows bunt, pulls back, runner's taken off for third, gets away from the third baseman.
What an awkward slide there.
Yeah, throws there in time, nearly had Blake McNeil at third, but instead he'll be standing there 90 feet away from USA Scout's first run.
So looking through some of my notes that I took on the combine the other day, see if there's anybody that stuck out to me with that one.
Yeah, it's such a great drill. There's so much. I mean, obviously you're going to watch guys do the broad jump, the vertical, all that stuff, where you just like are wowed at how the level of athleticism.
Yeah.
But I think it's those finer tuned things like that, like watching the hip mobility and how quickly they can change directions, I think would be something fascinating to add to the baseball side of it.
Yeah, one of the guys that caught my eye on Thursday from the defensive line was Landon Jackson out of Arkansas. Fantastic, just about at everything. When I watched throughout his workouts, he was honestly, in my opinion, top 10, top 5 almost in every single drill that they did. It was some fantastic stuff. Love the combine. One of my favorites of the year.
Kareem Williams draws the 1-out walk. Now USA Scout will have runners at the corners. Yeah, going to Super 60, you get a little bit of those vibes, with the throng of MLB scouts there watching these high school players who hope to hear their names called this upcoming summer at the MLB draft. But it's just an entirely different animal. And the fact that they tailor so many different things towards different positions, I think, is always a great part of it.
Yeah, and I think what entices me so much about the NFL Combine, and something that we don't really see in other sports, is just how it's all at one spot. I mean, every single team is in one of the suites around Lucas Oil Stadium, and there's just guys walking in and out of those rooms, doing interviews with coaches, and it's just, and then like, their college teammates during their interview, their college teammate is down on the field running a 40. Yeah. It's outstanding to see it all happen all together at the same time. It's pretty cool.
We get a tiny bit of that during the feature games here at the end of the summer, where we'll have all 4 fields on one quad going. We've got guys doing BP. We've got all those little showcase pieces that you expect from a baseball event. That's a swing and a driven foul by Andrew Rogers, South Forsyth 2029 at the plate. But I feel like there could be some more stuff added to it just to make it just a tad bit bigger and a little bit more of a spectacle. So we're gonna get on the phone with Sean Duncan and Prep Baseball. We're gonna blow this thing out a little bit more at the end of this summer.
Well, USA Scout in a good spot right now. 1 out, runners on the corners, trying to advance that runner from second, and he does.
Yeah, Williams takes off, and here comes Blake McNeil. Ball gets away from the catcher. Williams on his way to third base. The throw is over, but not in time. So Kareem Williams now standing at third. USA Scout's got a run, and Andrew Rogers remains at the plate.
That's great work by Williams, being really heads up, rounding second and taking third base on that. Just tough spot for the catcher. He thought it was right under him, can't find it. Then he has to run around the umpire to go get the ball at the backstop. It's a tough spot he found himself in.
Bo Bryant trying to work himself out of trouble now. Got a strikeout for that first out. Williams a throw back. Will not happen. He'll retreat to third.
Seems like with Bryant's motion, he's just a little bit prone to that early release, just kind of getting a little bit too far away from him. Maybe some... I'm trying to remember who the pitcher was. Alex Wood. Was he the one that put one at the top of the netting one time?
Yeah. Another one gets away from Bryant Williams is going to take off and make it in time for the second USA Scout run. We now got a 3-2 game. It's going to be a shootout.
Yeah, I got a feeling that these two offenses are not going to slow down in this game. I mean, the pitching's there. I mean, Bryant has looked good at times throughout this inning, and we saw good stuff out of Staubli in the first. It's just these are two talented offenses.
First to 15 going to win?
We'll see.
Andrew Rogers got himself a 3-1 count. See what Bryant has in store for him. Sends that one foul. Looks like that would have been ball 4. Instead, it's now got a 3-2 count.
You got to show some love to, I'm not sure who it is there behind the plate, but he is flying. That mask is flying off of his head whenever that ball gets hit. He wants that thing off fast.
3-2 from Bryant. Sends that one foul.
Yeah, good pitch right there. Slowed it down a little bit. Dropped in on the hands. Forced a swing.
Yeah, I think, we talked earlier about, this being the first real opportunities for some of these pitchers in obviously the opening tournament for the year. But I think you have a conversation with these guys 2 months from now, and this is going to be something that they're going to look back on as a huge learning experience, trying to get themselves in a rhythm. That one is roped into the outfield, and that's going to be caught for the second out.
Good work right there. That one, 79.9 exit velo off the bat, so definitely came off hot, but good work out there to make a play.
So Andrew Rogers lines out, and now here is Hudson Harris, Horizon Christian Academy 2029.
Another school I've never heard of.
Yeah. You almost feel like we could play a game where is it a made-up academy or not?
That's a good point. I mean, I guess in theory all of them are.
Well, I feel like Avery Hunt would be the guy that would probably dominate that game because he deals with a lot of the rosters and profile inputs here for Prep Baseball Georgia. 1-0 count here to Harris. 2 down in the inning. 3-2 ball game. Flips that one foul. Next pitch will be number 25 for Bryant. So we've seen the pitch count rise for both pitchers here in the first inning. That one's going to be in play. Second baseman has it. Does he get it in time? He throws to first and gets out of the inning. West Cobb Ducks have a 3-2 lead over USA Scout. We'll be back with more from the season opener, part of the Academy March of Champions weekend.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one,
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
Do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete in all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere?
And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf. Because we're busy women.
We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
Welcome back to LakePoint Sports as we'll hit the field again here as we're taking a little bit of a detour on our studio camera. We'll head back to the field here in this matchup between USA Scout and West Cobb Ducks. 3-2 lead for West Cobb as they've now going to send Mouse to the plate here. And Beckett Mouse from North Cobb Christian, third prep baseball event for this 2029. I think Staubli may be finding his groove now as he's able to get that in for a strike. Count is 1-1.
Yeah, he just barely missed the bottom corner on that first pitch, and then that one, good work finding the spot.
Staubley just misses again. I think he's found something in the release now. Looks a little bit sharper than he did during the first inning. He issued a couple walks, a wild pitch.
The movement up there looks a lot cleaner.
Yeah, he's definitely found it. That one's popped up. Catcher's going to camp underneath it.
Just going to drop. That's a tough spot, too.
Yep.
The middle of the day, it's
Yeah,
12:30.
You get some weird shadows over there. You're on the run.
I mean, the catcher's
no clouds in the sky.
Dropping back almost into the shade and then back out of the shade with the corners of the awning there off the scout tower. So it's a tough one to corral.
All right, AB continues for Beckett Mouse. 2-2 count. Staubley delivers. Mouse ropes that one down the left side. That's going to be into left field for a base hit, 73.7 off his bat.
Yeah, and kind of the same thing we saw from Staubley in the first inning. He can find the strike zone. He'll put it there, but it just seems like because he's putting it there, this West Cobb Ducks team's more than capable of making contact with it and putting it in places where they're going to reach base safely.
Last hitter in the order for the Ducks is Alex Allen Martinez, the Hillgrove 2028. First pitch swinging. Third prep baseball event for this 5'8", 135-pound righty. After him is the top of the order and Evan DeCaria. I like the pickoff move.
Yeah.
It's the first time we've really seen that version of it from Staubley.
Always an asset of having a left-handed
That's
pitcher.
right. Martinez sends that foul.
There's a little bit more of what we were talking about after that first at bat is that he's going to put them in the strike zone, and he's going to make you want to swing at them, and he just kind of leaves it up to you on whether you can do something with it.
I think that's why that curveball is so key for him.
Yeah.
If that's dropping in for a strike, you're giving a batter a lot to think about. Gets away from him. Runner's taken off for second.
I still just don't think he has the handle on the curveball today. Probably just keep that one in the pocket and stick to the fastball. At least you avoid the errant throws there if you stay away from the curveball for the moment.
All right, so Beckett Mouse is now standing at second base. Staubley gets him, punches it out on the outside corner.
It's good work there, too. And, I mean, from the left-handed release, that one kind of coming out from an outside spot, falling back in towards the strike zone. It's a good pitch right there.
Having to carry up for the second time. Was able to reach by error in his first AB. Sends that one into left field. Drops in front of the left fielder for a single, so now going to have runners at the corners.
Yeah, good running right there as well by West Cobb Ducks. You want to be careful because sometimes a ball in that spot could drop in from the shortstop, but good work right there, advancing to third base on what sometimes would have been one where you just hold off at second.
Now we'll get our second look at North Cobb Christian 2029 Foley Kane.
See how Staubley reacts lefty-lefty here again. Oh,
yeah, sends that into center field, and that's going to have him on the run. Foley Kane is going to get one run on the board. Taken off for home, and it's going to be another run. Kane makes his way to third, and he is, they got him at third. And I think we're going to have a bit of a rebuttal here from the third base coach because that throw looked like it was awfully close, but Foley Kane able to get two more runs on the board before they throw him out at third.
Great work by Foley Kane. I know we're about to go to commercial with that. No, sorry, that was just the second. But great work by Foley Kane. The center fielder was playing so far in. I was really surprised when I saw that.
I thought it was inside the park home run because we so often see the ball just going all the way to the warning track and just stopping there, and guys just absolutely coasting around the base pass. But they're able to throw Foley Kane out at third base, but Ducks do add two more to extend the lead to 5-2.
Yeah, and can't really fault Kane on that one. He was really close. He made an extremely close play at third, and it was a great throw, good relays from the outfield to get that ball in time anyways. So good work by USA Scout to at least get something good out of that play, but definitely got to be thinking about that defensive shift you had going with the center fielder playing so far in.
I think he's playing pretty shallow again right now. Landon Evans now at the plate. Right fielder camps underneath that, and that will bring an end to the inning. But West Cobb Ducks have extended their lead to 5-2. We'll be back with more of the season opener, part of the Academy March of Champions weekend.
Where's it written? Only grill burgers? Nowhere. That's where. Now throw on some sausage and keep it juicy.
Boogie, woogie, jam, slam, bust the dialect, come the man in command, come. Flow with the sounds of the mighty Mike.
Welcome back to our season opener action here at LakePoint Sports. Cory McCartney, Grayson, Rosen with you. Let's see if we maintain Bo Bryant's place on the mound for West Cobb Ducks.
Still waiting to see a pitcher come out to warm up. Got a catcher.
I think we may have a new pitcher as we see somebody getting some questions about some wristbands and arm tape.
Looks like he's wearing number 2, so that might be Foley Kane.
Yeah, so Foley Kane goes from a spot at third base after getting thrown out, getting into the dugout and getting himself ready to come out and pitch the second inning for the Ducks. Kane with a fastball around the mid-60s, also got a curveball that drops down to 48 miles an hour, so this could be a lot of fun to watch that differential there. See what he's got in store here. Righty rips that in at 64-4.
Yeah, I think if I had to guess, West Cobb Ducks maybe not happy with the errant throws they were seeing out of Bryant in that first inning. And like we've talked about a couple times, a lot of times, first look, we're going to see a lot of these guys for the season. So if you're not feeling it, there's no reason to keep riding it out. Just end the day and work on it at practice next week.
All right, so Kane will get his shot. We'll see who's going to step to the plate here for USA Scout, trying to answer after giving up a couple more runs off that hit from Kane, a would-be triple that saw him get thrown out at third base.
Really like Kane's leg kick here in his delivery. Very interesting. Maybe gives a runner on the base pass a little extra time to run, but it looks smooth. The delivery looks good. Shoe tying from our first baseman. Oh, on the knees throwdown. Got it all the way there. Not necessarily on the money. Neither was that one, but impressive nonetheless.
All right, so 5-2 is the lead for Ducks over USA Scout here as we're sitting in the bottom of the second inning.
Lawson Shear come to the plate to lead things off, try and get this comeback started again.
All right, Lawson Shear and another school that I will admit that I've never heard of before, Fidelis Christian School here in Georgia. Second prep baseball event for this 5'9", 120-pounder. 2029, that's in for a strike out of the hands of Kane.
USA Scout, no stranger to entering an inning down 3 runs.
Yeah.
See if maybe they want to put up more than 2 this time around.
Breaking ball gets away from the catcher. Count's now going to be 2-1. So after Lawson Shear, it'll be Nate Barber and Aiden Milligan. Two-1 is the count to Shear. Kane misses high.
See if he can clean up what he's done here. 3-1 now.
All right, Kane delivers, Going to issue a leadoff walk to Shear, and that'll bring up Nate Barber. Barber, 5'6", 125 pounds, Sequoia 2029. Second prep baseball event for him.
Big lead over there at first base.
Yeah.
Probably looking for somebody to run.
Swing and a miss. Kane gets that in for a strike. Yeah, they're thinking probably the same thing you were watching that leg kick of Kane. We'll see how aggressive USA Scout gets. And he's a slide step.
Yeah. I got a 1-1 count here. More favorable to steal the base.
Puts that in play. Shortstop has it. Flips a second for 1 out. The throw to first in time. West Cobb Ducks able to flip the double play and
that's awesome.
Aid Foley Kane on the mound.
Yeah, good work right there. Everybody moving quickly, moving efficiently. A good stretch over there at first base to get the out. It's a textbook right there from West Cobb Ducks.
So Nate Barber hits into the double play, and now it's Aiden Milligan's turn. Milligan, North Forsyth 2029. 5th prep baseball event for him. Kane misses outside. See our cameras rattling a bit with the wind. You can see the awning back there behind the backstop flipping as well. Just a little bit too fine on that one as he tried to work a secondary that goes high.
Let's see if Kane can reel things back in here.
The 2-0, and there's that leg kick that you like so much, but he hit the batter. So Milligan aboard via the hit by pitch, and Dan Reeder gets a chance now, the South Forsyth, 2029, playing in his 5th prep baseball event.
Yeah, I think that leg kick that we've been talking about, it seems like he doesn't do it every time.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of is throwing himself off just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're doing that to throw the batter off, but if it's something you're just working in and it takes you off your delivery, it may not be the choicest move. Is that throw back pick to first?
It's always a risky play. Even at the highest level,
Yeah,
back
yeah.
pick is a risky play because really your first baseman has to be paying attention.
Yeah,
to
head
it.
on a swivel at all times as he misses high.
Doesn't always happen having that first baseman ready for the back pick sometimes as a former first baseman.
All right, the NCAA 2025 pulse meter is growing here.
Yeah.
All right, 2-0 count. I'm getting dizzy here watching this. Bounces away from the catcher, counts 3-0. Runner's taken off for second. The throw is not in time.
Good block there. Just kind of got a little bit too far away from him. Had to get around the batter.
Aiden Milligan takes second. The count is now 3-0 to Reeder. There's that leg kick again. Gets away from him. Runner's taken off for third. So Milligan gets the walk. Reeder gets the walk. Milligan's now standing at third, and Caden Staubly now steps to the plate.
Give some quick credit to Dan Reeder for what he did that most people wouldn't even notice. He got down and didn't leave the batter's box to not get an interference call. Actually happened in the game before this between West Cobb Ducks and Nelson Baseball, where runner steals third. They go to throw down, but the batter in the batter's box stepped back in front of the catcher when he went to make the throw down, makes the errant throw, tries to advance home, and as he's coming to home, actually our home plate umpire right now calls time, runners out on an interference call that ends the inning and takes away that run.
It's such a hard thing to communicate to young players, though. Runner's taken off for second, throw back to the pitcher. They're not going to bite that bait. It's such a hard thing to communicate to young players, though, because your instinct is to get out of the way.
Exactly. And you think you're getting out of the way by stepping out of the box, but instead you're actually getting in the catcher's way when he's throwing down to third.
Yeah, swing and a miss. Yeah, great job, as you mentioned, by Reeder. Just get low, get out of the way. All right, Caden Staubly, who we have seen on the mound for USA Scout, now at the plate, the Alpharetta 29. 6 foot, 138-pounder. Loops that one into right field. camps underneath it and makes the catch for the inning-ending out. 5-2 lead for Ducks over USA Scout. We'll be back from the season opener, part of the Academy March of Champions weekend.
We're here at LakePoint Sports, the site of the first Curve Test Center. There will be lots of Curve Test Centers, but this will always be the first. And why are we here? Here for a couple of reasons. One is if you think about the effort players are spending trying to get coaches to notice them, the effort coaches are spending trying to figure out who's actually any good, the poor parents who are sitting there saying, where's my kid headed? This is the answer for all that.
Everyone wants to be seen, right? Sometimes what can be seen is data. So it's hard to get in front of coaches at all these programs at once, or even the school you really want to go to. So using data helps us a ton. And as long as it's reliable and there's something that can give us better information with the small sample size is what we're looking for.
Curves Test Center is redefining player and performance data when it comes to evaluation and recruiting. Test your athletic, cognitive, and baseball skills with TrackMan, Proteus, and more. Visit at the Bubble here at the LakePoint Sports campus or sign up now at curvetestcenter.com. Don't miss this chance to level up your game. Caden Staubley goes from the plate to the mound. USA Scout trails the Ducks 5-2, as we said, in the third inning now of this season opener. Again, part of the Academy March of Champions weekend here across campus. Also have NASA Top Hat action at the Publix Field. You got the Peachtree Classic Saturday and Sunday over at the Champions Center. So a lot going on campus. So get out here if you can and take in some of the action with us on a beautiful weather weekend here in Emerson, Georgia.
Some of that wind on display right there,
Yeah.
taking Nate Barber's cap off.
First pitch goes down the right side. A first baseman on the run. Gloves it backhand. Can't. That's going to drop in.
Yeah, that's really tough for a first baseman to try and make a play on. You hope that your right fielder comes in and calls him off, but yeah, that's a really tough spot for that ball to get to. Good work. West Cobb Ducks just continue to make these offensive runs that they're just going to slowly keep adding on runs if they keep pulling it off.
That was Liam Agnes that reached to lead things off for the Ducks, and now here's Elliot Owen.
A little hit and run.
Yeah, Agnes taking off for second. Slowly hit ball, 64.7 miles an hour. He'll be safe at first.
Wow. Heads up.
Yeah,
base
meanwhile,
running again.
Agnes keeps taking off, and he's now standing at third.
Essentially a swinging bunt right there. Just kind of rolled its way to the third baseman, and good work showing off the wheels right there by Elliot Owen to get on first, and good work by Agnes to get to third.
Now it's Colson Ruplin, who's got himself 2 RBI already today. He's 1 for 1.
He's in a good spot to potentially do it again.
Two RBI for Colson Ruplin. We've also got a couple RBI for Foley Kane. Runner's taken off for second, and here comes another run for the Ducks. They've now got a 6-2 lead. It's always a play where always sometimes scratch your head about when you have a runner at third, but I think it's sometimes catchers can get trigger happy behind the plate, try to show off that arm strength, and unfortunately that throw is going to result in another run for the Ducks.
Yeah, I mean, now you're down 4. You were down 3 before you throw down. It's just, sure, you're down and you're looking for outs, but I'm not sure if that was the right play.
Ruplin skies out for an out.
There you go. Pays off to have that center fielder playing effectively like 5 feet behind the infield grass.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, look, we talked about this. USA Scout knows these fields. Are used to kind of understanding the depth. There's always going to be that kind of learning factor for kids when they get to this age group because a lot of them haven't played on fields this big. Definitely. So the USA Scout guys understand what can happen if that ball gets past their outfielders. But then you have the tendency of what happens if it does get past our outfielders because the guy's got some pop at the plate, and we saw that happen a little bit earlier in this game with Foley Kane. They were able to throw him out at third, but it wasn't until Westcott Ducks had added 2 more runs.
Yeah, interested to see if Staubley can kind of pull things back together here. He's given up runs now in all 3 of his innings, but he hasn't necessarily looked bad. He hasn't really lost the control fully. It's not like the walks have gotten out of control. It's just they're hitting the ball.
Luke Thompson at the plate now gets past the catcher's head, and runner will advance to third.
I would love to know why Luke Thompson chose the number 74. Because that's a ridiculously high number.
It is.
Unless you're going to go for 99, I feel like you can't go, I'd say past 50. 50 to 98, kind of odd territory for
It is. Thompson's got himself a walk, a 1-out walk, and runners will be at the corners now for the Ducks. With Thatcher Reeves at the plate. Yeah, that is an interesting number call.
We have a mound meeting here.
Yeah, the list of MLB players who have worn 74 is pretty small. I mean, you got Kenley Jansen, so
that's a good one.
Maybe he's a big Kenley Jansen fan. Joe Mantiply.
Nobody is a Joe Mantiply fan that much.
Yeah, Mike Ford, 2019. Ronald Torres.
Not a great list.
They say it says Ronald Torres. Some say he was the greatest Yankee to wear number 74 as he is in a Phillies uniform.
Well, Mike Ford had a good year as a
That's
Yankee.
true, yeah.
So I don't know if you can even say that.
Yeah. Yeah, not very many guys have worn number 74.
Well, Pat Valaika was okay.
Yeah.
A few times.
I think you always got to look at Blake Law that played for the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, a -1 WAR guy.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe Nathan, did he wear 70? No, he didn't wear 74, did he?
Maybe it was just a very early thing. Runner taken off for second. That one's flipped foul.
This is the kind of fun banter you're going to get from us all spring.
That's right. Thatcher Reeves is at the plate now, wearing a much more baseball common number 9.
Certainly. First number 9 on your head.
That's right.
I'm really bad about jersey numbers. So do you have any in mind? Any number 9s?
Ooh.
I can think of soccer players, but I can't think of a baseball player right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Joe Burrow. So
fair enough.
They got a rundown between first and second.
Well played.
Yeah, well played ball. Nice job there. Did not bite on that bait. So Westcott Ducks are going to have him at second and third, but could have been a lot worse. We could have saw another run score for the Ducks, but the USA Scout able to keep themselves, compartmentalize things, stay mentally in the game, and now they got runners at second and third.
Yeah, now you just want Staubley to keep it reeled in here. There you go. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Got his batter down 0-2 now. See if Thatcher Reeves can get defensive here and keep the runs coming in for Westcott Ducks.
A little bit of a misstep, I think, on his delivery there. And I think that's why that ball sailed on Staubley. The 1-2. That one's going to get away from the catcher. The runner take off for home. He, in fact, does. There will be no flip to the base, Runner also will advance to third. So another run scores for the Ducks. Now leads 7-2 here in the top of the third.
Best number 9s of all time. Rogers Hornsby.
There you go. That's
Ted
a good
Williams,
one.
Joe DiMaggio. Guys that some of these guys maybe have never heard of Rogers Hornsby.
Yeah, I did see, though, a post from Topps a couple days ago, though, that they now have that one's skied off the bat of Reeves. Second baseman has it. That'll be an out. Now we'll get a look at Ryder Floyd. That they have a Roger Hornsby game-used bat that they're actually sliced up now, and it's going to be available in some cards. So I think some guys are going to know who Rogers Hornsby is.
Gotcha. And Hornsby only wore that for 1 year. He wore number 9 once. Ted Williams wore it all 19 seasons.
Well, Ryder Floyd wearing number 44. I'll tell you my favorite number 44 in baseball.
I know mine.
Eric Davis was my guy growing up.
More
Cincinnati
of a Hank
Reds.
Aaron guy.
Yeah.
I wore 44 in my years of very low-level baseball.
Skies out to center. That'll bring an end to the inning, but the Ducks have made it a 7-2 advantage over USA Scout. We'll be back with the bottom of the third. You're watching the season opener, part of the Academy March of Champions weekend.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Welcome back. You're watching the season opener from here at LakePoint Sports Baseball Village. Cory, McCartney, Grayson, Rosen with you. Foley Kane's going to wish we hadn't come back at that exact moment as that warm-up pitch is errantly thrown to the backstop, but he's going to get another chance on the mound here for the Ducks, who lead 7-2 over USA Scout. We're back to the top of the order, though, for USA Scout. Blake McNeil will start things off, followed by Bentley Linville and Kareem Williams. See if they can eat into this lead. USA Scout scored 2 runs in the bottom of the first, could not plate any in the second, but meanwhile, West Cobb Ducks have just continued to pile it on. They 3 in the first, 2 in the second, and 2 here in the top of this inning to extend their lead. They've got 7 runs on 7 hits. Technically, USA Scout without a hit so far, but they have gotten themselves a couple of runs across the home plate.
Yeah, you're certainly looking for early offensive showings here, whether it just be a walk or anything. You want the base runners. It makes things so much more complicated when you've got those base runners on.
All right, Foley Kane going to get back onto the mound for his second inning of relief. Bo Bryant started things off for the Ducks. Right, McNeil 0 for 1. Mentioned USA Scout without a hit so far here as we sit in the bottom of the third.
That pitch had some late drop to it.
Yeah. McNeil, the Sequoia 2029. As I mentioned, 6th prep baseball event for the USA Scout leadoff hitter. There's that interesting leg kick again. I don't know if I've seen him throw a strike with that yet.
Yeah, I don't think he has. He's only pulled it out a couple times, which still really piques my interest in the decision making.
There it is again.
What makes him want to throw it like that?
Misses inside. Count is now 3-0 to McNeil. See if he can get back on track and into this count. No, instead he'll issue a walk on 4 pitches to McNeil, and that'll bring up Bentley Linville.
Well, there's the start that USA Scout kind of desperately needs. It's just get guys on base and just make things way more complicated for the pitcher and for the defense. I mean, if McNeil can just be disruptive on the base paths, whether he even steals a base or not, just get in their head a little bit.
McNeil takes off for second. The throw is definitely going to be late as McNeil is safely at second.
Yeah, McNeil got a fantastic jump there. I mean, the catcher hadn't even gotten it out of his glove. He was probably about 3/4 of the way. Got a big lead there at second base.
Taking off again. Linville shows bunt, and that is in for a strike.
Yes. Kind of a desperation type of bunt right there.
Yeah.
Really wanted to put that one down. I don't know if McNeil even needed the support there to steal third, but got a runner on third, no outs regardless.
Oh, just misses. Counts 2-1.
See what Bentley Linville can do here. And a hitter's count.
He'll be followed by Kareem Williams.
Ooh, good pitch.
Count now 2-2. Maybe the best pitch we've seen out of the hands of Foley Kane so far.
See what he's got here now. 2 strikes.
Bounces away from the catcher. McNeil taking off for home. The flick back is going to make its way almost all the way to second base. Now got a 7-3 game.
Actually, I really liked that breaking ball. I think it's a
yeah, I think it's just hard to glove.
Yeah, it certainly somebody up there would have swung at. But good eye right there by Bentley Linville to pick up on it early.
Well, he's now got a 3-2 count. Swing and a miss. He goes down on strikes.
That's great work right there. I think a lot of that is the change of eye level and speed. You just put a 50-mile-per-hour curveball in the dirt.
Yep.
Excuse me.
We've all been choked up a little bit around here lately as the flu bug made its way around basically everybody who worked for LakePoint Sports. But, so Kareem Williams now with the plate. Man, you talk about guys that just look the part at 6 foot, 160 pounds, this Cambridge 2029. Looks like he's up there to do some serious damage. Number 3 hitter in the lineup for USA Scout.
Yeah, what I was going to say before I choked on air was throwing that curveball in the dirt that he obviously wasn't going to swing at, and then speeding it up by 15 miles per hour, putting it in the high part of the zone. It just made it almost impossible for him to hit.
1-1 sales on him.
Now USA Scout, you get that first run, which helps you out, but you still haven't found momentum anywhere.
Still have not found a first hit yet.
Yeah, I mean, you get the walk, he gets all the way around, which is fantastic, but it's still kind of an odd way for this inning to start.
All right, 3-1 is the count to Williams. Andrew Rogers in the on-deck circle. And he'll walk Williams. So far, we've seen 2 walks and a strikeout.
And a run.
And a run. Andrew Rogers, the South Forsyth 2029, steps in.
Now he steps in.
There he goes.
Had to take his time.
Throw back over to Williams. They're not going to let him run rampant like they did McNeil.
I don't know if you're going to be able to stop him unless you just throw over to that first baseman every time.
We'll see in our leg kick corner conversations here what that one's flipped back foul, what Foley Kane keeps doing there to see if it's given enough time for these runners to kind of run rampant.
Kareem Williams not happy that he made contact with that one or even put any attempt at it, but fouled it off.
There's the 0-1. Williams taking off for second, and the throw bounces in front of the bag and into center field, so Williams will easily take the bag.
I think that's maybe an inexperienced mistake that we saw there, but shortstop's got to get himself in front of that. You don't want to just leave your glove there to stop that ball. You want to put your body out in front of that before you can make the tag.
All right, let's see if we see a repeat here. Williams has got a massive lead, and he's taking off for third. The throw down is in time.
Really late jump.
Especially when you've got that big of a lead, but they throw out Williams at third for the second out.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that was that Foley Kane didn't slow down. You see right now, he's already towed the rubber again. There's nobody even on base. He didn't slow down at all. Williams hadn't settled in at second. He got a late jump, tried to go, it just didn't work out. Now we got a 3-1 count, so we might see yet another walk issued and then potentially the third out coming via that.
3-1 count to Andrew Rogers. And he will issue a 2-out walk to Rogers or bring up Hudson Harris. So now we'll see how aggressive Andrew Rogers gets on the base paths.
I think there's a difference between aggression and just going for it. And I think Williams got a little bit too caught up in going for it.
Well, I think you're down 4 runs. You're just looking to try to make something happen,
but, I mean,
some kind of a spark. Yeah.
You still got 40 minutes on the clock.
Sends that one back foul.
You got 40 minutes on the clock. It's the bottom of the third. If you play your cards right, play maybe just a little bit better than you have, Williams is still on second, potentially on third, and you have 2 runners on with 1 out, and you try and make something happen there.
Count is now 0-2 to Harris. The Horizon Christian Academy 2029. Runner taken off. Rogers will be now standing at second base, and at this point in the proceedings, we would expect him to take off for third, and then that's when the real fireworks start.
Well, we've got a 1-2 count here.
All right, he's going to see how big Rogers gets of a lead. Oh, I think he hit him. Did he hit him?
No, I think he fouled
all right,
it
so
off.
Harris fouls that off.
Odd check swing there that he really tried to stop, but still caught a piece of his bat.
All right, meanwhile, Rogers retreats to second. All right, so Harris at the plate with a 1-2 count. Rogers standing in second. Not nearly as big of a lead as we've seen out of these other USA Scout runners, but he is taken off for third. Ball gets away from the catcher. The throw down to third. Gets away from the third baseman. Kind of a rushed throw and unable to field it cleanly, and will, though, keep Rogers at third.
I think Rogers is being the right amount of aggressive right now on the base paths. You're not going too crazy. You're not taking a ridiculously large lead or getting caught lacking, but doing his thing.
Harris skies this one. Second baseman on the run, and that's a tough ball to field in the sun. That's going to drop down, and USA Scouts got their 4th run, now a 7-4 game.
Yeah, not the way you probably planned that run being hit around, but yeah, that's a really tough play to make, especially coming in all the way from playing close to the outfield grass on that one. And, yeah, really tough play to make coming in with the sun in your eyes.
All right, so Hudson Harris aboard. Lawson Shear now at the plate. I'm sure scored an error, so technically still waiting on that first USA Scout hit, but they've got 4 runs. Ball that could have ended this inning for the Ducks. Runners taken off for second. The throw is in time, and they got him at second base. The aggressiveness of USA Scout has resulted in a couple runs this inning, but has also backfired a couple times as well. 7-4 ball game. We'll be back with more of the season opener, part of the Academy March of Champions weekend.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one.
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
Do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete in all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere?
And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf.
Because we're busy women.
We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
Welcome back to LakePoint Sports, the season opener. Again, part of the Academy March of Champions weekends, where West Cobb Ducks have a 7-4 lead over USA Scout. Looks like we have a pitching change for USA Scout. I think somebody might have walked out there with the wrong cleats on, so we may see a wardrobe change.
I think it was the white sleeves. I think he had a white undershirt on.
Okay.
So a pitching change and a wardrobe change coming for, I believe that was Brantley Gleason, 47.
All right, we'll see what happens when he comes back. Yeah, I get to throw it around a little bit more and work out the kinks.
There we go.
All right, so
Moves the
Brantley
sleeves.
Glisson does indeed take the rubber. Left-hander, 2029, North Paulding. You saw North Paulding in action last night, taking on Etowah, a matchup of the number 1 and number 4 teams in Prep Baseball Georgia's Power 25. And from all indications, another opportunity for Etowah to just show there's a big gap between number 1 and number 4.
Yeah, well, Game 1, certainly the case. A big win in Game 1. North Paulding actually got the win, I believe, 8-4 in Game 2. And it kind of seemed like what I talked about earlier in this game, where in a doubleheader, and these two teams both playing each other in both games, the team that just kept rolling offensively, you had, I believe, Trevor Condon, I think, almost hit for the cycle.
Wow.
In Game 1, he had a home run late in the game that really ran up the score. It's so difficult to continue scoring, and that's what they faced in that game, too.
Well, Westcott Ducks have had little trouble scoring today here at LakePoint Sports. They scored 3 runs in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third to find themselves with a 7-4 advantage as we sit here in the top of the 4th inning. We'll now get another look at Beckett Moss, and he'll be followed by Alex Allen Martinez. That one is driven into left field. Instead will be caught right at the edge near the grass there by the shortstop for the first out. Looked like it had a little bit more legs to it, but in fact died right near the edge of the dirt and the grass, and that'll be out number 1. And now here comes Alex Allen Martinez.
And in case you can't tell, I know it's a little bit far away, but it's Allen Martinez hyphenated.
Yep.
And it takes up pretty much all of the back of that jersey.
Yeah, that was probably a feat by whoever made their jerseys to fit the entire thing in the back. They're all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 letters.
Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot. And we see it all the time in the MLB. It's always a bit of a storyline.
Yeah.
When you get that full last name.
Yep.
Guy like D. Strange Gordon.
Yeah, when it kind of goes all the way around, looks like the St. Louis Arch on their back.
Jared Saltalamacchia.
Yeah. Former Braves catching prospect. Had himself a nice long MLB career for a guy that I don't think ever really lived up to what everyone initially thought he would be.
Had a few good, solid years.
Yep, in Boston.
In the league. And we also, the jerseys are back to the real text on the back.
Yeah.
Not the like ironed on letters that were tiny on the back. So we're back to big name jerseys.
Well, the pants will no longer be see-through, which I think will be the biggest win for everybody.
Yeah, that was a problem.
Yeah, I firmly expected that Jockey or Haynes was going to have some bigger sponsorships for this upcoming season, but MLB able to fix their pants issue. 2-2's the count here to Moss. Excuse me, Alec Martinez.
I think they maybe could have brought on maybe an antiperspirant as well.
There you go.
A lot of guys sweating through gray jerseys last season.
Alex Allen Martinez, the Hillgrove 2028. That one goes foul.
Brantley Glisson trying to not let this at bat get away from him. Still got the full count.
Yep.
Going to try and get himself his second out here.
Speaking of Hillgrove, had a chance to catch up with Dion Walker a couple days ago. Dion was was picked by the Pirates in the 35th round of the 2019 MLB draft out of Hillgrove. His brother Jordan Walker currently starring for Hillgrove himself. Dion told me he's actually has a upcoming independent league tryout. He's trying to reinvent himself as a pitcher.
Okay.
Yeah, so feeling pretty good about some secondaries. Got himself a cutter that he's really liking. So best of luck to Dion Walker trying to revive his MLB career after things didn't work out for him at the Pirates organization.
Brantley Glisson sends out one to the backstop and sends his batter to first base. So
we'll now return to the top of the order, and Evan DeCario, who's 1 for 2. One out here in the top of the 4th. Carey puts this one in play. Shortstop has it. Can he throw to second for one out? He does. Will not get an opportunity to try to turn the double play.
Yeah, good job holding back right there. I don't think he was going to get the step he wanted to with the runner sliding in. So
yeah, good job at short though, making that throw from the knees to at least get the out at second. So now 2 down for Foley Kane. Kane 1 for 2. He's got himself what'll count as a double with a couple RBIs after he was thrown out at third. He's also found himself on the mound now for the Ducks. That one sails, going to be ball 1. Yeah, been a lot to like out of the game of Foley Kane here, the North Christian 2029.
Yeah, at times he's gotten a little bit errant out there on the mound. We saw that a little bit, but offensively, certainly having a day.
Sends that one foul.
And still not giving up a hit.
Yeah.
On the mound, that definitely helps.
Yeah, West Cobb Ducks have 7 runs on 7 hits. USA Scout 4 runs, no hits. Both teams have committed an error, as we said here in the top of the 4th. Got about 31 minutes of game time remaining. Excuse me.
There it is.
Yeah, there was mine. I thought I was out of this. King kind of loops that into left field. Shortstop has it in the grass, and that'll bring it into the inning. West Cobb Ducks actually don't score in one of these frames, but they still lead 7-4. We'll be back for more of the season opener, part of the Academy March of Champions weekend.
We're here at LakePoint Sports, the site of the first Curve Test Center. There will be lots of Curve Test Centers, but this will always be the first. And why are we here? Here for a couple of reasons. One is if you think about the effort players are spending trying to get coaches to notice them, the effort coaches are spending trying to figure out who's actually any good, the poor parents who are sitting there saying, where's my kid headed? This is the answer for all that.
Everyone wants to be seen, right? Sometimes what can be seen is data. So it's hard to get in front of coaches at all these programs at once, or even the school you really want to go to. So using data helps us a ton. And as long as it's reliable and there's something that can give us better information with the small sample size is what we're looking for.
Curve Test Centers is redefining player and performance data when it comes to evaluation and recruiting. Test your athletic, cognitive, and baseball skills with TrackMe and Proteus and more. Visit at the Bubble here on the LakePoint Sports campus or sign up now at curvetestcenter.com. Don't miss this chance to level up your game. Welcome back to our action here. The season opener. Going to have a pitching change for West Cobb Ducks, who lead 7-4 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. They're going to turn things over to Luke Thompson, the Kennesaw Mountain 2029. Righty fastball around 69 miles an hour, curveball 59 to 63.
So he wears Kenley Jansen's number. Will he have as good of a pitch selection?
Do you think Kenley Jansen's the reason for 74?
I have no idea, but I mean, it can't be anybody else.
Unless it's not a baseball thing.
It could be a different sport, but then again, is he looking up to an offensive lineman?
Yeah, no. Bruce Matthews and Merlin Olsen, who you probably don't know a lot about Merlin Olsen, but yeah, Merlin Olsen was also an actor. Played for the Rams in 14 Pro Bowls, so maybe that's the reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I would love to know where he gets 74 from.
All right, which NBA players have worn number 74? It says none in the database, but Dave Bing is the only NBA player to have worn the number. He played for the Pistons, Bullets, and Celtics. So
no chance.
Yeah. Yeah, the NBA, by the way, prohibits players from wearing numbers above 69, but it makes no sense because Luka Doncic wears number 77. So
I think there's just certain like random numbers.
I don't know. Google AI needs to get it together. That one's going back foul.
Can't trust everything you see on the internet.
That's right. Including this broadcast where
that's a good point.
The Ducks lead 7-4 over USA Scout in the bottom of the 4th inning. Time is becoming a factor. We've got about 27 minutes of game time remaining here.
Yeah, I think USA Scout really helped themselves out. Well, they go down on strikes looking, but for the first out of the inning, it was a good pitch right there by Thompson. But I think USA Scout, at least with the clock, helped themselves out a lot, stopping West Cobb from scoring any runs in that last inning.
All right, so Nate Barber was the USA Scout batter that went down on strikes, and now here's Aiden Milligan, Dan Reeder, and now the on-deck circle. The high setup here from Thompson, and then he kind of pulls it back. It's an interesting little routine he's got there with that high setup.
The high setup is Kenley Jansen-esque. That is one thing he does. So
okay, yep. I think we're getting to the bottom of this in real time.
I think so.
That's a strike. All right, so Luke Thompson, big fan of Curacao. Got himself an 0-2 count.
As a Braves fan, so am I.
That's right. Andrew Jones, Andrelton Simmons,
Ozzie Albies,
obviously. Yep.
Now.
On and on and on. If you played
Kenley
for
Jansen,
Curacao, you're going to find yourself in Atlanta. He slams his bat down on the run. Oh, it drops right between the center fielder and left fielder. I think each one thought the other was going to get it. And if you're Aiden Milligan, you slam the bat down on your way to first, but things worked out in his favor.
Now he can just say it was celebratory.
Yep. And that, folks, is the first hit for USA Scout. And they'll take whatever fashion they can get now to try to mount some kind of a comeback here in the bottom of the 4th. All right, the one thing we did not see, though, one thing we've not seen is runners taking off for second. That ball is going to find its way into the outfield. The one thing we've not seen from him that's Kenley Jansen-esque is kind of like that little hip twitch.
Yeah.
So if Luke Thompson can start the little hip twitch, I am firmly on board with him being a huge Kenley Jansen fan.
You definitely see it in the movement.
Yeah.
I'm glad we've gotten to the bottom of
All right, I want to see this. I would love to see the little hip twitch from him. He's not going to give it to us. Shows bunt, pulls back. That's going to be ball 2.
He does do the guide hand with the glove.
He does.
I'm glad we figured this out.
Yep.
Live on air.
That's right. Well, it's the kind of next level analysis as you'll only get on these broadcasts is then for a strike.
That's the difference. That's the difference right there.
All right, count is now 2-1. Swing, miss, strike 2.
See what he's got. 2 strikes here. Great pitch right there.
Another
for the
swing and a
strike.
miss. All right, I have to give credit where credit's due. Nate Barber was the USA Scout hitter that got that first hit. I believe the scoreboard was a little bit slow to update for us. All right, so now it's Dan Reeder's turn with 2 down here in the inning. That's in for a strike. Reeder, the South Forsyth 29, got a 0-1 count that now becomes 0-2 off that swing and a miss. We're going to see a Kenley Jansen-esque cutter out of the hands of Thompson here to bring it into the inning.
That would be amazing if we saw a cutter.
Oh, he gets the punch out, though. Luke Thompson sits him down. USA Scout strands a runner. 7-4 continues to be the Ducks' lead. We'll be back with more. You're watching the season opener, part of the Academy March of Champions weekend.
Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
As part of the Academy March of Champions weekend, you can receive 20% off your purchase both online and in-store at all Georgia Academy Sports locations this weekend. So if you got yourself an iPhone, just do a screen grab, or if you're on the computer, you can do the same there, and you'll be able to use that coupon for Academy Sports Plus Outdoors. So let's return to our action here in the season opener. We've got a 7-4 lead for West Cobb Ducks over USA Scout as we're into the 5th inning of action. See on the mound for USA Scout, we're getting another look at Brantley Glisson, who came in relief during the 4th. 7 hits, 7 runs for West Cobb Ducks. USA Scout got 4 runs, and they got their first hit of the ball game via Nate Barber in the 4th inning.
Big thing with Glisson on the mound is that last inning was the first time West Cobb Ducks haven't scored a run, and that was Glisson up there on the mound doing the work. So we'll see if he can keep that rolling here, or if West Cobb Ducks, maybe now they're getting another look at him, can figure things out and keep things rolling offensively.
We got Landon Evans, Liam Magnus, and Elliot Owen at the plate for West Cobb Ducks, so he's scheduled to be at the plate this inning. We'll get some sock adjustments here for the center fielder. It's always important. You wear those short pants, those knickers, you got to make sure you got the right amount of gap between the legs and the pants.
I think we're seeing a little bit of kneecap from Glisson on the mound.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really got those things hiked up. Yeah, there's enough bagginess there that he pulled those up to create that effect. Glisson gets it in for a strike. Looked a little bit high and outside, but it's going to be strike 1. Comes the 1-0. The 0-1, excuse me. They called it as a strike. That was struck into center field. Got him on the run. Nice grab in center field.
Great catch out there.
Man, some love for Blake McNeil in center field. That's why you adjust those pants, Blake McNeil, so you can put on plays like that. All right, now 1 down here in the inning.
He's actually adjusting them as we speak.
That's right. Well, might get another chance. Our Liam Agnes at the plate now. 1 for 1.
Something we haven't talked about with Agnes. Very tall.
Yeah.
I believe he's 6 foot.
Yeah, listed at 6 foot, 175 pounds. Again, from Northwest Classical Academy. The 1-0 from Glisson. Oh, that one's going to sail and go to the backstop. No harm, no foul, though, as there's no base runners.
I'm going to throw another question at you.
Uh-oh.
Most recent pitcher you can think of that wore the high pants? Because it's not a typical thing now for pitchers to wear the high pants. I think I have one in mind, but I'm going to fact check myself before I say it.
Wow. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Okay, yeah, I've got it right. Pat Neshek was the one that I had in mind.
Okay.
He wore the high pants. Not nearly as high as Glisson's wearing them, but he wore them up there.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's not a common
one of those
move
random things that you think of.
That's right.
I want to say Raleigh Fingers back in the day, one of the guys that wore the high pants. Certainly much more of a staple when you go back.
That's right. I was never a fan because I always felt like when you slid, it created more opportunities for you to have things go wrong. Skin up your knee, or if the pants go too far up, right if the line where they meet your socks, that you can end up skinning up your knee. Right. Going to see a walk here from Agnes. That's going to bring up Elliot Owen.
It is interesting to hear different baseball players' opinions on like the fit of pants. I mean, you know, there's so many different styles you can go with, and length is a big conversation topic. I mean, there's some guys who are like, I don't want my pants to touch my cleats.
Yeah.
Which I don't hate.
Elliot Owen is 0 for 1 on the day. Excuse me, 1 for 1 on the day. Three batters for West Cobb Ducks without a hit so far. Now 2-0 here to Owen. It's going to be followed by Colson Ruplin, who's got himself 2 RBI. He's 1 for 2. The 3-0. It's going to get away from. That's going to make it 3-0. I believe our scoreboard was just a pitch behind. So count now 3-0 here. Glisson and Elliot Owen.
Good stop right there behind the plate as well to make sure that one didn't get past and advance that runner.
Hoping Elliot Glisson's a Tom Glavine guy, is a lefty. I would imagine maybe that's why he's wearing that uniform. Is that makes a bouncing stop to the shortstop's glove, and West Cobb Ducks got a runner at second. That's got to be the play, right? Brantley Glisson's got to be a Tom Glavine guy.
Yeah, and also I think a lot of guys, it's their parents. Their parents liked that guy, so you wear that number.
Going to issue a walk to Owen, and that's going to bring up Colson Ruplin. Ruplin again, 1 for 2, got 2 RBI today. Well, Glavine was always a favorite of mine to deal with, covering the Braves for so many years and working with him at Fox Sports South and later Bally Sports South. So runners both going to advance off the wild pitch.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what's your power rankings on the three, the guys? Not as people, but as players. As players.
Because I didn't deal with Maddox as much. I knew Smoltz pretty well, Glavine pretty well. I dealt with the two of those quite a bit. Really, my only real interactions with Maddox was when we were up there for the Hall of Fame inductions for him and Glavine and Bobby Cox.
That was such a great class.
Yeah, he lives in Nevada, so we don't see him a whole lot. The other two, obviously, part of the broadcast, we would see Smoltz and Glavine a lot. But, I think firmly Glavine #1 amongst those two. I think I put Glavine 2, but I think it's to Smoltz's detriment, and I know it's part of the Hall of Fame resume for him that he stepped away and became such a dominant closer.
Yeah,
but
I
think
came back. It was still an all-star.
And I think it kind of hurts him though when you start measuring up the three of them, because the starting statistics are just never going to measure up to the other two.
I agree with that. But then again, how many saves do do Glavine and
That's
Maddox
right.
have? Shows versatility.
That's right.
But yeah, all three of those pitchers are such legends of the game.
Another walk. Bases are going to be loaded for West Cobb Ducks here, as they'll now send Luke Thompson to the plate.
Things getting a little bit dangerous here for Glisson. The catcher trying to go out and just talk to his pitcher. The whole infield wants to join.
Yeah, everyone wants to join in. Oh, here comes Coach.
Here we go.
See if we just get a conversation, or do we get a pitching change of the bases loaded and one out here in the top of the fifth.
I think this is a position where you just ask him how he feels. I mean, he's pitched well in this game, and just now in this inning he's kind of lost it in moments, but you see how he's feeling. See if he wants to keep going, and they're going to let him go.
He will, in fact, keep going. We've got about 13 minutes of game time left, so USA Scout's going to get a chance, but if this goes on a little bit too long, we could see the last opportunity for USA Scout in the bottom of this inning. So I think you got to be careful letting things get out of hand, both on the scoreboard and how much time West Cobb Ducks are going to get on the plate here in the top of the fifth.
Yeah, I mean, if West Cobb Ducks extends this inning any longer, you're going to have a run scored. So I think that's certainly something to watch, because USA Scout, if you come up, regardless, obviously they're going to come up here in the bottom of the fifth, but how much of a hill will there be to climb when they finally do get to take the plate?
Glisson goes strike one to Thompson. We'll make it strike two. Wow, got a favorable call on the outside. Never seen Kenley Jansen swing before, so I can't say that Luke Thompson is looking Jansen-esque at the plate.
I would assume in the very few times he's probably had to do it in his career, it was not pretty.
Thompson shoots that one into center field. Got him on the run. Here comes 1 run for West Cobb Ducks. Thompson's going to hold at first, make it 8-4. That looked like it was going to be all kinds of trouble going over top of the center fielder's head, but West Cobb Ducks will play it conservative and extend their lead to 4.
Yeah, and this is something we talked about. USA Scout knows these fields. They look super comfortable playing those balls that get past them, which is something you wouldn't typically see. I think a lot of teams get out here, and if you get a ball over the top of the center fielder's head, he's probably going to start scrambling to try and make something happen. Super calm out there. Credit to Blake McNeil for playing these both very well. I know the first one that he allowed over his head gave up the 2 runs, but they still got the out at third. And now, like, in what scenario does any team hit a ball out over the center fielder's head and only score 1 run with bases loaded?
Thatcher Reeves now at the plate. I think the thing that these USA Scout guys can understand is not to panic when the ball gets away from you, goes over top of your head, playing shallow like he is in center field.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it wasn't flying off the bat. It wasn't 90-mile-per-hour exit velos. He kind of blooped it out over there, over the center fielder's head, and you know it's not going to get far.
This may be the most shallow center field I've ever seen anybody play in one of these broadcasts we've done.
Great work right there by Glisson. Get the strike 3 on the outside half.
All right, so Thatcher Reeves goes down on strike. Ryder Floyd now at the plate with 2 down in the inning.
If you're West Cobb Ducks, obviously you'd love to get another run scored here, but I think more importantly, try and push that clock a little bit longer.
Count 1-0 to Floyd. Mount Perrin, 2029, middle infielder. .0 from Glisson. That's a location that's been working for him.
Yeah, just doesn't get the call right there.
All right, make it 2-0. Floyd's 0 for 2. Count now 3-0. One pitch away from a 9th run for West Cobb Ducks via a walk, so we'll see if Glisson can rein it in here and work his way back into this count.
Probably take a second here to collect your thoughts. Obviously,
showing bunt. It's going to bounce away from the catcher, and
that thing bounced high.
Sure did. All right, run number 9 for West Cobb Ducks as Ryder Floyd walks down to first. Beckett Masuv now get his chance. I think it's Beckett Moss.
I think it's Moss or Moss.
We'll say Moss. I'm sure Mom and Dad will. Someone related to Beckett will give us the lowdown in the comments section. Ropes the first one, and that's going to get away from the shortstop. Here comes 1 run for West Cobb. Oh, nearly had a collision there between the base runner and the third base coach. Now another one comes for West Cobb Ducks, and Beckett Moss making his way to second base. Credit him with 2 RBI off of a. We're going to give him a double on that one, I would believe.
Yeah.
We'll see how the scorekeepers put that one in the books. But interesting move there. I think the base runner nearly collided with the third base coach. I don't even think was looking to see if he was going to get a signal to
I'm going to blame that one on coach because it looked like he was waving him around and gave him a really late stop sign.
Yeah.
And then he still ended up going.
We have coaching boxes for a reason, but he certainly got out of the way of that one. 11-4 now is the lead for West Cobb Ducks. Alex Allen Martinez now at the plate. He is 0 for 1. After this is the top of the order.
And that was just such a pivotal play for the offense here for West Cobb Ducks. You needed that little extra cushion because, I mean, 4 runs is doable to tie that game up. Now it's not insurmountable, but it's difficult.
Yeah, chasing time and chasing a 7-run deficit when USA Scout does get their chance at the bottom of this inning. 2-0 count to Alan Martinez.
I believe it's 3-0 now, as you can tell from
there we go.
Obviously fake bunt attempt.
In for a strike. Been really impressed with this West Cobb Ducks team. They have been coming out swinging all day today. Remember, they just scored 15 runs in a win over Nelson Baseball School right before this, and Alan Martinez will head down to first with a 2-out walk. Bases are now loaded again as we go back to the top of the order, and Evan DeCherio is 1 for 3.
I think now we're into a territory with time where whenever USA Scout does get out of this, it'll be their last chance.
Yep. Yeah, about 7 minutes of game time left. DeCherio skies that one. Center fielder on the run. And Blake McNeil, man, has been an absolute must-watch player in center field today. Has made 2 fantastic catches. That one ends the inning, but the West Cobb Ducks have built themselves an 11-4 lead. When we come back, it's going to be down to those last opportunities for USA Scout. You are watching the season opener, part of the Academy March of Champions weekend.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
Back for the bottom of the 5th inning, West Cobb Ducks have an 11-4 lead over USA Scout. We're watching the season opener, again, part of the Academy March of Champions weekend, a busy weekend here across the LakePoint Sports campus. Cory McCartney along with Grayson Rosen. What is it like? Okay, we're just seeing this right now from Hudson Harris, the shortstop for West Cobb. Everybody, like every position player is out there mimics mimes like they're pitching.
Yeah.
That's just everybody does this.
Yeah, I think it's just something that people do.
Yeah, it's like about guys you'll see somebody stand there doing their golf swing, even if they don't play golf.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, I remember just like standing in like the grocery store with my parents, just like taking some hacks.
Yeah, I love the spike throw
that
we just saw from Harris.
That's some fun stuff.
Yeah. All right. West Cobb Ducks firmly in control in this one. We'll see if Luke Thompson can slam the door on USA Scout and give West Cobb Ducks an impressive win. Again, they already beat Nelson Baseball School 15-3 just before this game. They have been absolutely rolling, and Thompson works that in for a strike here against Caden Staubley.
Yeah, Thompson's been extremely impressive in this game.
Yeah.
Kind of flew under the radar until he got up on the mound, but at the plate, 2 for 2 with an RBI. And now on the mound in his 1 inning, he only gave up 1 hit, but struck out 3. Hasn't allowed a run to this point. See if his 2nd inning here matches the same hype from last time around.
Swing and a miss. Yeah, after this, it's back to the top of the order. Blake McNeil, Bentley Linville. But Luke Thompson has looked every bit the part here for West Cobb Ducks late in this game. That one's sent back foul. Interested to see some of the spin numbers on Thompson here as we pull up the scoreboard, see if we can get that. About 1,500 spin on that last pitch. Swing and miss.
Wow.
Strikeout.
That's
Luke
4.
Thompson, yeah, 4 Ks, man. He's having himself a nice little afternoon here in the season opener.
5 batters faced, 4 strikeouts.
Wow. Top of the order now, Blake McNeil, who's 0 for 1, but has played some awfully impressive center field for USA Scout, including a catch away from him. They kind of had to pull back on the lefty, had to kind of extend the arm out and make a running catch to end the top of the 5th.
That is one thing. He's a lefty. He's been fading left on these catches every time, reaching across the body.
Yeah, reaching across the body. It's not as though he's a right-hander who's kind of catching it with the ball looking into him. He's actually having to reach across his body and make these catches. So we've seen some really great defensive work in center field from Blake McNeil so far today. 1 for 1 the count to McNeil. That one sails on Thompson. Count now 2-1.
It seems like sometimes with this delivery, Thompson kind of goes under the ball a little bit too much, and we'll get that high pitch every now and then, but otherwise this looks stellar.
Oh, that's in for a strike.
Catches that top corner of the zone. He's got some arm side movement on it too. Partially, I think, due in part just it's a little bit slower, so it's going to fall off there at the end, but he's got some arm side movement that makes things really interesting, especially against the lefty.
2-2 to McNeil. Gets him a second strikeout.
Wow.
Man, Luke Thompson has been absolutely fantastic since coming into this game. A little shimmy from him there.
5 outs, 5 strikeouts.
He's feeling it. We may see that Kenley Jansen hip twitch. All right, he's got Bentley Linville now. Yeah, 5 Ks right now for Thompson. It's a miss to start out this AB. There's 1 minute left on the clock. If he goes too fast, do we end up starting another inning?
I don't know. We'll have to see. There's
All
strike
right,
one. Okay, well, now
all right, time is all right. So yeah, so officially on our, at least based off our scoreboard clock, we have timed out in this game. So we'll see if Luke Thompson can slam the door on USA Scout or whether they'll mount some 2-out magic here in the bottom of the 5th, trailing by 7.
It just missed the outside half there, so a 2-1 count now. See if Thompson can reel it back in.
It's a 2-1.
Good
Man,
pitch.
Yeah, great location. Gets kind of a late reaction swing there from Linville. Counts now 2-2. USA Scout down to their last strike. This one's sent back foul.
Staying alive.
Yep. I think from what we've seen, there's only one way Luke Thompson ends this AB and ends this game, and that's via a strikeout. So we'll see if he's up to the task here. Count 2-2. Linville trying to change that scenario. Skies this one. Who's got it? Bounces between the center fielder and the second baseman for the second hit for USA Scout.
I mean, if we're going off the patterns here,
yeah,
his last inning, he did give up 1 hit.
That is true.
So maybe it's just part of the process here.
All right, Kareem Williams now. USA Scouts clinging to hope with a runner at first and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Williams hitless today. Runner taken off for second. The throw down. Jumps to stop it from going into center field, but McNeil now standing at second base. Or Linville, excuse me, standing at second base. We saw Blake McNeil strike out to start the inning.
Not afraid to run around these bases. Got a big lead there, no hold. Late
swing and a miss. There must be some serious movement on these pitches from Thompson.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of late arm side drop that is just really making it tough to see.
Well, Kennesaw Mountain 2029 certainly opening some eyes here in this broadcast. Sends that foul, and then once again, USA Scout down to their last out.
See if he's got some strikeout stuff. We'd love to see a Kenley Jansen cutter, but don't know if that's in the cards.
5 strikeouts thus far for Luke Thompson. He's got a 1-2 count here to Kareem Williams. Runner at first, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Puts this one in play. Second baseman gets another shot at it, throws to first. Did he come off the bag? He did not. Ends the game. USA Scout falls 11-4 to West Cobb Ducks, and we are going to be through this game of the day, part of the, again, Academy March of Champions weekend. We're going to take a quick break in our action. When we come back, we'll talk player of the game.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
Boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect on the
As part of the Academy March of Champions weekend, you can receive 20% off your purchase both online and in-store at all Georgia Academy Sports locations all weekend long. So make sure you screenshot that code right there, and you can use it again online or in-store. Welcome back to the LakePoint Sports studio. Cory, McCartney, Grayson, Rosen with you. We just saw West Cobb Ducks just look fantastic, getting themselves an 11-4 win over USA Scout. We talked about the explosiveness of this offense. They just beat Nelson Baseball School 15-3 in the matchup before this one. I just thought from the very get-go, West Cobb Ducks started out hot, and they stayed out throughout the entire game red hot at the plate.
Yeah, I mean, playing a back-to-back, a doubleheader, and you score 26 runs as an offense, and you only allow 7. It's unbelievable, and they just continued to roll, and it came off of a couple different key contributors throughout these games, and they just looked fantastic.
Turn our attention to player of the game. Luke Thompson, we spent part of this game trying to figure out why in the world he was wearing number 74, which is not a usual pick for a baseball player. We got to the bottom. We think with that setup on the mound, it was a little Kenley Jansen-esque. Yeah. He looked Kenley Jansen-esque as this game went on. He pitches 2 innings, gets 5 strikeouts, 1 hit, no walks. That to go along with a 2 for 2 day at the plate. Man, I was awfully impressed with this Kennesaw Mountain 2029.
Yeah, it really caught us by surprise here, just kind of watching it all play out, because he was doing really well at the plate, but it was kind of an under-the-radar performance. He takes the mound and immediately starts showing off, strikes out 3 batters in his first inning, gave up 1 hit in that first inning, comes out for the second inning, strikes out the first 2, gives up a hit, then they get the last out of the game to win it all, but I mean, what a day for Luke Thompson. Fantastic performance.
Absolutely. Slammed the door on the mound, shutting down that USA Scout offense and helping West Cobb Ducks to an 11-4 victory in our game of the day from the season opener. Again, this all part of the Academy March of Champions weekend. So that'll do it for this broadcast, but we will be back next week with the Prep Baseball Invitational. So check out the social posts that we'll have coming to you for more broadcast information ahead of that weekend's action. Until next time, for Grayson, Rosen, and producer Maddie Bullock, I'm Cory McCartney, and we are signing off from LakePoint Sports.